Right. Okay, we hit 20. So that means there's about 12 to 20 other people out there that should be on that's not here yet. So let's get them here, guys. So whatever you need to do, shoot them a text. It was the poll for training tonight was kind of all over the place, right? There was a bunch of different things going on. So like three different ties for 45% on the vote for social media, life insurance 101, and investing, and then an 18% tie between appointment setting and overcoming objections, right? So we won't cover that. So I pulled up an older presentation that I've done a few times, but it's like why Primerica Life, right? And so we'll talk about some of that tonight. But to start off, we're going to talk about some of the incentives and then a big sort of announcement that I'm going to have for everybody like for the base shop, to kind of go with the appointment setting stuff. Okay. So let me pull this presentation up and we'll walk through a few things. And then depending on how much time I have with the why Primerica Live stuff, we'll do a little bit of sort of investing like 101 and some investing basics as well. Okay. So while I'm getting this pulled up, guys, do me a favor. For those 23 of us now that are here, good, good, good. Where, like, what state are you in? Like, what state are you like zooming in from? Right? Not state of mind. Like, where are you physically in the country? Because I want, especially if there's new people, right? I want everybody to see this. Right? So Arizona, Florida, South Carolina, Louisiana, West Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland, okay, Indiana for now. My point, guys, is even though we're a pretty small team that's here right now, how many different states was that? Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, right? Florida, Arizona, South Carolina, Louisiana, seven different states. Crazy. Eight, right? Eight different states. That's crazy. So the presentation we're going to get into tonight is why Primerica Life, right? So you know this guy's got to make an appearance. This is my favorite dude. Right? But so we don't forget, because it's like I will forget. I am terrible at that, right? So we got to get the closers in here. So Michaela Miller leading the way, right? Girl's working like 97 hours a week as a manager, salaried, right? So she doesn't get paid anymore when she works extra. Anybody familiar with that? Does that sound familiar to anybody else? Kind of sucks, right? It's crazy. I swear every time we go to set an appointment, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had to stay late. Oh, I'm sorry, I had to come in early. My other manager called out." It's like, dang, girl, they're running you ragged. And you know what? They will run you ragged because you're salaried. They don't care, right? They don't care. You're you're a slave to the system. I hate to say it, right? But she's crushing it. And this is just a testament to you don't have to be there, right? For us to help you build a business, right? So Michaela's crushing it. Alyssa Webbs is up there, right? So there's probably a few other people tied at one. Brittany Haddon, haven't even seen her in a minute, but she's on the leaderboard. And then Christy Mooningham, right? Everybody pray for Christy. She was in the hospital the other day, so she's feeling better. But yeah, so those are the closers when it comes to like the recruit side. Premium side, right? I'm getting ahead of things because we're leaving next week, so we'll be out. I'm out next week at spring break. You will not hear from me. So next Thursday, watch for a new Thursday night link. Angela's going to send that out. Angela, Haley, maybe a few other people are going to be running the Thursday night meeting. So just if you have the link saved, like just make a note mentally that next Thursday it will be a different link. Okay. Michelle, great job. And then Haley, great job. Right. So there's some premium out there. Now, if you guys are unlicensed and training premium, right, it'll be on your bonus page, but it doesn't show up here. This is only for like the licensed agents that have closed anything. Okay. So overall, right now, this will change a little bit tonight. We'll be at 6,600 by nine recruits. So we're a little bit behind pace of where we normally should be. Ideally, by the end of the weekend, we're going to be over 10 by 10. That's the main goal, right? First third of the month, 10 by 10, second, third, 20 by 20, then 30 by 30 minimum. The goal is 50 by 50. Okay. The goal is 50 by 50. So, but shout out to the closers out there right now, right? So just to kind of give you guys an idea, right? The number one base shop in the country, base shop brokerage, however you want to think about it, right? Team, they're at 24,092 recruits. So if you had to sort of like extrapolate that out over the rest of the month, they should finish easily 100 by 300, right? They would want that ratio to be more like 150 and 300, but whatever. Okay. But hey, shout out to the closers, right? Get those up there, guys. And here's the big announcement for tonight. A lot of you may have already seen this, some of you haven't, right? If you haven't, cool, right? Because we're doing it now. But if you have, well, get ready to hear it again. So look, this is not Primerica's money. Okay. This is your field trainer's money, my money, right? So this is a set and sit competition, right? You're really only competing against yourself because you're not competing against anybody else. Why do we say set and sit? Because I could put like 50 bogus appointments on the calendar right now. And if you never sit on them, right? Or like if my trainer never sat on them, but he paid me 500 bucks, that would kind of be a ripoff. Like you would agree. That really wouldn't be fair, right? And so we say set and sit, right? Because if you set them, right, then we're going to sit on them, and that's when you're going to get paid. Okay. Now, I tell you what, like for the first five, right? For the first five, I will gladly, right, gladly help out and front some of that to the brand new person who's setting the appointment. And now the way this is going to work is half of this is my money, half of this is your trainer's money, right? So if you're setting an appointment with Haley primarily, right? Haley's going to pay you 25, I'll pay you 25 after you set the first five client appointments. For the big ones, right? We're going to wait until some of those have come through, right? If you set the first five, cool. You set 10 though for the 150, 75 from your trainer, 75 from me, right? We're going to like wait until some of those actually like follow through, right? We don't want like all of them rescheduling, that sort of thing. Does that make sense? Okay. So ground rules, right? Set the appointments today through Sunday, and we want them to be sat on by Sunday night, and I'm going to show you why, right? So these are like loading up for the weekend. Guys, think about it. When are most people available? Evenings and weekends, right? Especially if they have a spouse. When are most spouses available at the same time? Evenings and weekends, right? You might have to find like a weird time in between. Somebody works a weird schedule, whatever, but that's not normal. Or that's abnormal, I should say. And so set it as a free consult, free financial consult, right? All of your trainers' calendars are set up as a free financial consult. They must have kids or be married. Okay, so if they're a single parent, cool. If they're a parent with a spouse, cool, right? If they've got adult kids that are grown and out of the house, cool. That sounds like set an appointment with them and then set an appointment with those adult kids. You with me? Right? There's ways to leverage this for sure. Okay. Book them as a free financial consult, and both decision makers must be present. Here's why. I just ran an appointment, right? Only the spouse was there. All of it made sense. Do you think we closed it? No. I- Is is it because I'm not a good closer? Y'all, I'm good. I'm real good. They weren't both there. It was a spur of the moment thing, right? Hey, can you sit down and help me with some training? Sure, right? It jumped like it came on my account. I was like, oh, whoa, here we go. Okay. Yeah, they weren't both there. They weren't both there. The odds of you closing it without both of them present, guys, is very, very slim. Think about it. It's a big decision, right? It's a big decision. It's a financial decision. So if they're not both present, the odds of you getting it closed are pretty low. Now, here comes, right? So this is the Whopper. You ready for Whopper with cheese, right? Or what do they call it in London or in France, right? A Royale with cheese because of the metric system. Who's with me, right? Pulp Fiction? No, nobody. All right, just me. Here's the biggie. We have not done this in a long time. In a long time. So, and especially all the way up here. We have not done this in a long time. Okay. And so let me explain this. And we're counting it for both people, meaning Matt, if you go help a new trainee write an app on themselves and their spouse, that's two apps for them, and it's two towards your four. Does that make sense? You go set another appointment with somebody and you close two more policies, that's four apps for you and then two apps for that person. Okay. Look, two apps. If you're brand new right now and you go do two apps, okay, two life apps, two separate life insurance policies, that close and process. What do I mean by process? That means like they actually signed the DocuSign and then we submitted it and the money came out of the client's account and now they have life insurance. Now they're a customer, they're a client, right? It's not just like submit it and then it just disappears. You with me on that? Okay. This is the easiest it will ever be. I promise you. Right? So if you're brand new at a rep at a 25% contract, you can write a policy. You can like, and if you haven't taken care of your own stuff yet, this is the time to do it because it's never going to be easier. This applies to brand new agents. This applies to old agents, right? This is set the appointments, right? So what do we talk about over here? Look, guys, like you can't ask for a more perfect marriage of an incentive. Can you? Can you like we're gonna pay you to set the appointment, and then over here we're gonna accelerate your promotion forever. And no matter where you're at, you can move up. So look, you're gonna get paid to set the appointment, and you're gonna get promoted, meaning also if you're gonna get promoted, you're gonna increase your bonus if you're unlicensed right now. You with me? It's the most perfect. Listen, this is the most perfect like transition of incentives that we've ever done, right? I don't want to say I'm a genius, but I'll let you decide. For real, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Look, if you're gonna do this anyway, you get to double dip. You get to double dip, right? Matt, Jen, Michelle, I'm looking at you right here. This is the big one. It ain't gonna get easier. If you can go set appointments and close 4 apps by Sunday at midnight, this is it, right? Why did I shorten it, right? Why did we condense a little bit? Because urgency. Because if you have a deadline, the odds of you getting it done go way up. They go way up, guys. Way up. All right. Haley, what's your question? Or are you just
It's more like triple dipping because there's also the trip incentive.
yeah, right? Well, and it's quadruple dipping if you're unlicensed because you have a bonus. You're going to get paid to set the appointment. You're going to get accelerated on your promotion. There's an incentive for the trip. I mean, which trip, right? There's a Colorado trip. There's the beach house trip up in Destin with Andy that they're doing. Guys, there's so many different things going on and your actual bonus if you're unlicensed. Yeah, but wait, there's more to the power of four. There's so much right now. There's so much right now, guys. And so don't miss this, right? Don't miss this. Before I leave this page, are there any questions? And I promise you, there's no dumb question because if you've never seen this before, it can be a little like confusing. It can be a little overwhelming, right? So anybody, no dumb.
My only question, my only question for you is, can you do like a recording just on this for and post it when you post it in the chat?
Like,
Like a quick video?
yeah, yeah. I'll just do one on my phone and just put it out there. That way,
Yeah, that's what I mean. That way, like if people have a quick version.
mhm, for sure, for sure. But let
Thank
me just
you.
cover it. Yeah, let me just cover it again really quick, guys. Right? So if you're a brand new rep, you haven't done any training, you've done nothing, you're at a 25% contract, right? And you go write you set an appointment and you go write 2 apps. You're not going to write them. Your trainer is going to do the work. So not only are you going to get a promotion, you're going to get paid most likely for setting the appointments. Somebody else is going to do the work for you and show you what this looks like. You're going to get training out of it as well, right? 2 apps, boom. Now you're at a 35% contract. I think the only thing that we did not put on this was like a minimum app size. The minimum app is 600 AP, meaning $50 a month, right? You can't go write some of the apps that Haley wrote last month that were like $16 a month. That does not count. Okay. That does not count. They helped QBI, right? The quality of business app, but they don't count for this. So it's at least got to be 600 AP. Now, if you write 1 app, right, that's a 1200 AP app, and then you write a little baby app, or you write one that's like 1,000, and then you write a really small one, talk to me, right? I've been known to make exceptions. Right. But if one's like 1,000 and one's like 558, I'm not going to tell you no. You with me on that? Right. Just talk to your trainer. You have your trainer ask me, we're good. Right. But just think on average, at least about $50 a month. Deal? Good? Okay. So look, do two of those, you're at 35% contract. Do two more, you're at a 50% contract. Do two more, you're at a 60% contract. Now you're at 60. Like this is the big whopper, right? This is the big one. Like I haven't done this one to 70 in a hot minute. Matt, you're welcome. Michelle, you're welcome. Michelle, Jennifer, Matt, looking at you guys, right? If you're at a 60% contract, this is your shot. This is your shot because this is it, right? You haven't, Matt, because we haven't done it. I'm not kidding. The last time we even like floated this idea was almost 2 years ago, and it caused so much consternation. We said no, and we didn't do it. So we're bringing it back. We're giving it a shot, right? So Michelle, you have a KT tomorrow morning, right? Go close that thing. That's one. Before the weekend's out, get your brother. That's two. Before the weekend's out, get your friend that you're going to save a bunch of money on getting her policy fixed before she gets older. That's three. Go get one more. Go get one more, right? And I'll promote you to a 70% contract. There you go. That's it. That's it. Okay. Now, one thing, right? In order to take a 70% contract, if you're newer, right? By the time you get this contract, you have to be independent. What do I mean? That means you have to be able to close your own policies. You have to be able to independently recruit. You have to be independent, like closing life insurance. Okay. But by the time you sit through two, four, six, 10 completed successful appointments, do you feel like you're going to be more ready than you are right now? Yes or no? Or at least you could just generally see how you'd be way more ready if you've seen 10 appointments successful. Heck yeah, of course, right? Because guys, I'll be completely honest with you. When I went through field training, I went 15 by 15. I earned my 70 and 80% promotion the old school way. I sat through probably 12 or 13, maybe even 15 client appointments because some closed and some didn't. But by the time I had seen Andy run 12 or 15 appointments, do you think I ever needed him again? No. I had seen it. I'm good, right? Now I just gotta actually like do it. So that's kind of the point with this as well. The more you sit, or the more you set, and then the more you sit on, the more you'll see, the more you'll learn, the faster it'll sink in. And you're gonna realize pretty quick, as soon as you've seen one and then you see one more, you're like, "Pff, you just said the same thing you said last time." I know. That's the point. That's the point. It's supposed to be repetition. It's supposed to be duplicatable. That's literally the point, guys. That's literally the point. All right. So, hold on, back to this. I don't want to leave if there's any questions. Is anybody unclear about anything or want me to explain anything again? I feel like I'm officiating a wedding, right? Forever hold your peace kind of thing. No, for real. Like if you have questions, just ask. I feel like it's simple, but I've also been doing this for a long time. All right. So if since we're talking about appointment setting and we're talking about life insurance apps, right, that we want to close, let's talk about some life insurance, right? Let's talk about why Primerica Life Insurance. So put in the Zoom chat right now, how many types of life insurance does Primerica offer? 1, 12, 50, 2. What do you think? I've seen a few ones. Any other guesses? Anybody else know? Just one. Term. Level term. That's it. That's the only thing that we offer. Because when it comes to life insurance, that's what most people should have, right? All people, everybody should have it. Okay. So about us, if you haven't like seen these slides before, it's okay. They're a little bit dated, right? So this one says 130,000. I think the last number I saw was closer to 156,000 between North America, like between Canada and the US. Of those 156,000 guys, about 92,000 of those are women. Did you guys know female agents outnumber male agents by almost a 2-to-1 factor right now? We're getting close. We're getting close. I would say by the end of 2030, we will like 2-to-1 female to male agents, 100%. Right? The goal is to have 200,000 licensed agents by the end of 2030, right? Like the 200K takeover. That's part of the decade of dominance. And so if we hit that number, In reality, right, we're probably going to have about 70-ish thousand men licensed, maybe 80, and of like then double that, about 160. So in we could have close to a quarter million licensed agents. And I think the numbers will keep separating the longer we go. Okay. So right now about 6 million life insurance clients, and I think we've officially gone over 3 million investment clients. Close to $130 billion in assets under management that we control for clients. That's huge, guys. And when you think about the life insurance side of things, every year we're in the top like one, two, sometimes three, but like usually like one or two in terms of like national rankings of life insurance producers in the country. We usually like if we're not number one, we come in number two to either Prudential, uh, Mass Mutual, Northwest Mutual, right? The close second, right? And so we're up there. Think about that. Think about that. Every year, year in and year out. In the 80s, we were number one for I think 3 or 4 years in a row. And the crazy thing about that is we were number one and we beat number two, three, four combined in terms of how much volume of life insurance we did combined. That's insane, right? That's insane. And so Better Business Bureau, right? Like you're gonna meet people that are like, oh man, I looked up Primerica. Y'all are terrible in the Better Business Bureau. Well, look, I don't know what they're talking about because you could go Google Primerica Better Business Bureau right now and we're A plus rated. The other thing to think about though, when it comes to Better Business Bureau ratings, is that they are localized, right? So you could have an agent somewhere out there that's just god awful, and the local Better Business Bureau rating for that agent is going to be terrible. But nationally, no, fam. We've been Better Business Bureau rated for like 40 years, A plus. Okay. All sorts of awards. And this is a little bit dated, like this is old. But if you just Google Primerica and Forbes, this comes up. How can you argue with this? You can't. Yeah, now Time Magazine. We've never had anything from Time Magazine before, but Time Magazine just put Primerica in terms of like retirement investment financial services company in the best. They have a different list of a bunch of different categories. And we ended up there in like the best investment and financial services retirement planning category, primarily because of relationships. That's you, right? That's you and your clients, guys. So look, there's tons of good out there, and I promise you, you'll find whatever you're looking for. Does that make sense? Like if you go looking for good, you'll find it. If you go looking for bad, you'll find it. Okay. Most of you guys have seen this before, just kind of for some of our newer people, I just want you to see they call it the pinwheel. These are all of the things that we do, all of the things that we have access to, all the things that you have access to as an agent. Life insurance is just the one thing with our name on it. But this is also what makes us very different because if you meet somebody that doesn't need life insurance, well, maybe they need investments. Maybe they need help with their home and auto. Maybe they need a will. Maybe they need Vivint. Maybe they need some identity theft. Heck, maybe they need a mortgage. Maybe they want to refinance their house. I don't know. But you have access to all of these things, even if you're not licensed for it yet. Cool thing about all of this over here, client solutions side of things, you don't need a license at all, and you can still get paid. We'll talk about that too for the bonuses and everything that's going on right now. All right. So now like into the meat of this. So why Primerica Life? Why is our life insurance product so much better than almost every other term product on the market? Well, look at all the features, right? Look at all the built-in things. Level term to 35 years. Renewal rates that don't like break the bank. Increasing benefit rider. This is another way to think of this is like inflation protection, right? Think back 10 years ago, right? So 2016. Think about what size house a $500,000 would have bought in 2016. Wherever you live or wherever you used to live back then, $500,000 house in 2016, like you were coming up. That was like a McMansion, right? Fast forward to today, $500,000, depending on where you're at, might get you a 3-2, like a 3-bed, 2-bath. In Florida, yeah, right? Where we are, 500,000 right now is maybe a 3-2 on like a postage stamp of a friggin' plot of land. It just is, right? Waiver of premium. This is like a disability insurance, and we're going to break some of this stuff down, so don't worry. It's like a disability insurance on your life insurance. Terminal illness benefit, also known as a living benefit. It's money that you can access right now. God forbid you come down with a terminal diagnosis and you have less than 6 months. Think about it. Like if you woke up next week and you went to the doctor and he goes, "Oh my God, Taylor, we completely missed this crazy diagnosis that you have. And I'm so sorry, but you've got 6 months." Taylor, do you have a couple $100,000 that you can pull out of somewhere right now to do whatever the heck you want with? Most people don't, right? No, not at all. But Taylor, if you had a Primerica life insurance policy and you got that same diagnosis, if you had the waiver of premium on your policy, you can pull 70% of that policy out in cash up to 400 grand, depending on the size of your policy. You can do whatever the heck you want with that money, Taylor. You can go on a cruise around the world. You could like go spend 6, 7, 8 months in a cancer facility or whatever, right? You guys, I mean, most of you guys know who Assad is, right? Assad Faraj. Assad's like our great grandfather in the business. He's one of my mentors. His son Blake, his wife, right? So Assad's daughter-in-law came down with some like stage like 99 type cancer all over her body. Well, guess what? They have Primerica life insurance because Blake's the regional vice president. They pulled out $350,000 and spent 6 months at an Arizona Institute for Cancer. Praise God, because she is cancer-free today. That's real. That young man's wife would not be alive if not for that policy and the ability to access that money right now. And it's tax free. It's your life insurance. You're just advancing it. It's your living benefit. Okay. Automatic increase request is like if we're doing a policy, right? We submit it standard. If the client comes back healthier than the average, whatever they are, male, female at that age, it comes back cheaper. Would would anybody be mad if their life insurance policy came back cheaper once they applied for it? Or if they got more coverage out of it, but the cost went down? Hello? No way, right? One child rider covers all the kids, meaning if you got one kid or 50. My record is 15. One grandparent put 15 grandchildren on one child rider on her policy. She got a tiny policy on herself. She goes, "Look, I don't even really need it, but I want to cover all them babies." I said, "Cool, right? We just got to have enough on you that the cost of your policy at least equals or outweighs the child rider." She ended up putting like 50,000 on herself. It was like $40 and she covered all 15 grandkids. It was 1355 for the child rider for all 15 grandkids to have 25,000 each. Each. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Who else does that? Who else does that, right? And then a big one for those of you that have military friends or family, whatever, right? No war or terror clause. This is a big one for us because after 9/11, there were only two companies that paid death claims with no questions asked: USAA and Primerica. That was it, right? Everybody else called the lawyers and said, "Hey, can we we have that clause thing? Can we pull that? Did we can't?" Guys, there were lawsuits for years, years, but they ultimately the other companies ended up paying because it would have been. Can you imagine had they not paid? That would have been like a PR nightmare. Social media would have ate them alive, but eventually they paid. But it took years. Not for our clients though, right? Guys, we didn't even have bodies. We didn't have death certificates. We just knew clients were in the towers because we have an entire team at home office. Most of you don't even know this. There's an entire team at home office. Their entire job is if there's like a major tragedy or something crazy, they essentially get activated and they start pulling rosters of people that are in that area immediately. Immediately. You guys remember the Vegas shooting, right? A few years back? There was a client that died in that tragedy. The agent that wrote his policy had been out of the business for a long time, right? He had had the policy for like 15 or 20 years. It was in California. Home office called Mario. Mario's, multi-million dollar earner, like Circle Champions, big, he's up there. They called Mario because it was kind of a high profile thing. And they said, Mario, the agent's gone, right? Would you go deliver this death benefit? He said, yeah, of course. Guys, the wife, the beneficiary, didn't even know that there was a life insurance policy. All she knew was her husband was gone, and they were in the house trying to figure out how they were going to keep it. Mario gets to the house, knocks on the door, right? They won't answer. They probably think he's the cops or something. But he writes a note and like slides it like under the door. Says, "Hey, please read this. I'm going to be outside." Right? So they open it, they read it. "Hey, this my name is Mario. I'm from Primerica, right? Your husband had a life insurance policy with us. I'd love to discuss this with you. It's sizable." So they come out, Mario comes in, right? Mario brought them a check for over $400,000 and they didn't even submit a death claim. I'm like the bumps, dude. Like that's real. But that's the kind of company that you're a part of. How many other companies can you even think of that would pay a death claim without the beneficiary calling to make a claim? They're not. They're keeping that money. Like, well, we'll see if they ever call us, right? Meanwhile, we have an entire team that just alerts and scrubs rosters when stuff like that happens. Welcome to Primerica, right? This one, right? The My Primerica app, guys, the website and the app, huge. How many times have you guys sat down with a client and asked them if they could get a copy of their life insurance policy? And they said, uh, I don't know, right? I don't know what's in it. I just know it comes out of my check or I whatever, right? Like, well, that's terrible. Like, man, if you had one of our policies, you could pull up your app right now, log in and go to I want to, and you could change your beneficiary, you could change banking info, you can download a PDF of your policy right now. If there's a child rider on the policy, the client themselves, they can add kids to the policy without you as the agent. They can do it themselves if there's already kids on the policy. And it's free. And it's free. Oh, by the way, you change a beneficiary in the app, it's legal right then. Done. Right? Clients have complete control, guys. Clients have complete control. Oh, by the way, if you have an investment account with us, right, or money market as well, it's all going to be right there in one place. It's amazing. It's amazing, right? So let's talk a little bit more about like the two different types of the one kind of life insurance, right? So it's all level term, right? All level term, right? Power and precision. So we're going to talk first about power term. It's fast, right? So real-time underwriting, also known as like automatic approval. There's no medical exam. We answer the same medical questions on the application, but it's usually when the client needs less coverage because the max on a power term is 300,000 and as the client gets older that number keeps going down. Okay? So 300,000 all the way to 45. At 50 it's 250, 55 it keeps dropping, okay? It is a little bit more expensive. Like we say per unit, right? So it's a little bit more expensive per unit, but the trade-off for that is sort of the like expediency, meaning I can do it super quick, right? If somebody's young and they don't need a whole lot, well, we can do it now. And if they're young and healthy, they're probably going to get automatically approved. Right? They don't have to go through a medical exam. It's pretty simple. Oh, by the way, you find out as soon as you sign the first DocuSign. You could find out in like I could write a policy for somebody like right now, like who has not sat down and looked at their own like coverage yet? Anybody? Anybody that's here? If you haven't, right? Like I could literally do a live life app with you right now. And if you were doing power term and you're relatively young and healthy, there's a good chance you just get automatically approved. It's that simple, guys. It's that simple. Right. So why would you do it? Again, clients relatively younger, or they're older and they want something new, but they don't need a whole lot. So like if you're going to be below a certain amount of coverage, usually if you're going to do like 25 or 50,000 in coverage kind of thing, somebody's a lot older. you're going to have to do a power term. Okay. The minimum to do precision term, right, is if you're doing 150,000 or above. Okay. So why would you do precision term? Well, if you need more than the 300, you're looking at like a half a million or 750 plus. You're looking at the banding levels. Banding levels, guys, are like discount points or like a bulk discount, right? Like if somebody's looking at 200,000, you might as well show them 250 because there's a really good chance you could give them more coverage for less money. And I'll show you that live here in a few minutes just so you can kind of get an idea. So why precision, right? It's cheaper per unit. There is no maximum because if you're willing to do a medical exam, you're kind of showing the company like real-time data about the client. There are minimum coverages, right? It's usually 150,000. The medical exam's free, guys, right? It's just part of the application. So if somebody's like, "Oh, well, how do I do this? Should I go to my doctor? Do I get?" No, 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 no. We're going to submit the application. We'll schedule you the medical exam right now. We can send you somewhere close by you, or we can have somebody come to your house. Which would you prefer? Some people are like, "No, nobody coming to my house," right? Or some people are like, "Hell yeah, send them to me," right? But you can do whatever they want. And that's the beauty of that. All right. That's the beauty of that. At the end of the day, though, whether it's power term or precision term, the underlying life insurance is the exact same. All the features, all the benefits, it's all there. Okay. Term lengths and renewal, just so you guys kind of get this, right? Your initial like level term can be as long as 10 or as short as 10 years and then all the way to 35. And it jumps in 5-year increments. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay. You can't take anyone past the age of 80 on the initial term, right? So, like for me, for example, I'm 44. I'll be 45 in September. When I turn 45, I can still apply for a new 35-year term, and it would take me from 45 all the way to age 80. But as soon as I'm 46, the only thing I can have is a 30. The longest I can have is a 30. Does that make sense? Okay. Can't you, and if somebody's 71, they can't be a new client because the shortest term that we do is 10 years. So you got to get somebody at age 70 all the way down to 18. Okay. Now it says coverage expires at 95. If you renewed your coverage every year, it would get more expensive every year after your initial term is up, right? All the way to 95. Or, right, you get to the end of your initial term and you say, I'm good paying that. I'm going to convert it and it's going to become decreasing term to 100. It's a conversion privilege, right? So like let's say I did that one from 45 to 80. I was paying $100 a month and I got to 80 and I'm like, I still want something, right? So I convert my policy to decreasing term. Now, instead of my price going up, my price stays the same, but my coverage goes down every year as I get older. That's why it's called decreasing term. But you have an option. Okay. You have an option. I'll draw that picture later if that doesn't make sense. This I want to spend a little bit of time here because it's helpful to see the picture. Okay. So this is a client that has 150,000 in coverage, like their initial policy was 150,000. They were 26 when we submitted the application, right? The extra coverage for the monthly premium is zero for the first year because there's no extra coverage. Okay. Their initial policy, I think, was, I don't know, $35 a month, something like that. Right. So there's nothing for the first year cost-wise because there's no extra coverage. Starting in year two, right? This is that inflation protection, right? They're going to pay an extra $2.02 for an extra 15,000 in coverage. It's 10%. So every year, an extra 10% gets added to your coverage. It's automatic. You don't have to apply for it. Oh, by the way, you come down with like stage 11D cancer right in here. As long as it's still on your policy, you'll keep getting the extra increase. It'll never be declined, right? There's no medical check to get it. If you want it, you keep it. 10 years after your initial policy is done, right? Or 10 years into your initial policy, you've doubled your coverage. Your original policy never changes. And now for the next 10 years, you've got an extra rider that's going to be cheaper than your first policy. Stay with me. I know this can get complicated, right? So look, for the first year, every year we add 10%, right? Price goes up a little bit because the coverage is going up. Oh, by the way, this is optional. You can remove it. But in year 11, so going into like you've had the policy for 10 years now from year 11 to 20, look at the extra cost. How much is that extra 150,000 in coverage? And the client is 10 years older than when they started. Can you see it? I'll make it easy for you. 22 bucks a month. And the price is going to be the same from the time they're 36 to 45. And it's an extra 150,000. No questions asked. All right. Now, at year 21, they're 46, the price jumps like considerably. I mean, relative to what it was, right? In some cases, we would just get rid of this because they're going to have another 15 years of their other policy not being this expensive. Now, they get here and they got like all the cancer and the diabetes and all the other things. Well, they probably don't care. They might want it, but that's the beauty. It's options, right? At any point, the client can remove it, they can delete it, they can get rid of it. If they get over to here-ish and they're like, ah, I'm good with that, we can freeze it. It stops going up. It just locks in. It's crazy. Guys, there's options, right? There's so many options. And that's one of the best things about our policies as well. Your clients have options. Okay. Let me make sure I didn't like skip a slide. Let's talk about kids. Who's got kids? Anybody got kids? Right? Taylor, you got 4 kids? Girl, you better listen. You better you better listen. Watch this. All right. So what kids are insured under this rider? All of them. The answer is all of them, right? Your kids, your stepkids, your adopted kids, your grandkids, if they live with you, your nieces and nephews, all of them. The answer is all of them. All right. Can a legally adopted child be insured? Yes. Right. Oh, here's the other one, right? What happens if the insured person has more kids, right? Taylor, you got 4. You go have 4 more. You have one a year, right? For the next 4 years, you get 4 more of them little jokers. As soon as that baby's 5 days old, as soon as they're 5, now I know, I'm sorry, I won't put that on you. I'm sorry, right? But if you did, as soon as the baby's 5 days old, go into the app and add them and they're covered. No questions asked. Done. Done. And the price doesn't change. 14 bucks. Was it 13.55 with no waiver of premium, 14.18 with the waiver of premium for 25,000 in coverage. 14 bucks. Y'all be honest. How many of you spent more than $14 at Starbucks or Dunkin' this month? Be honest. Or Tim Hortons or whatever, like whatever your vice for coffee is or whatever, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter why you did it. Webs, you did it. Right? You did it. Look, guys, we can cover kids from 5 days old all the way until the day they turn 18. You can add them to the rider, and then they can stay on the rider until they turn 25. One rider to cover them all, right? Kind of like Lord of the Rings, like it's one ring to rule them all. It's one rider. They just have to get on it before they turn 18. Once they come off at age 25, right? Now they're guaranteed to be insurable. Does this have it on here? Here you go. Right. This is exchange, right? And we're also going to talk about paid up insurance here in a second, right? But exchange, can you exchange this rider? Yes. We designate without needing to provide proof of insurability. That means they're guaranteed insurable. If you don't have to provide proof of insurability, that means there's no medical reason for them to ask. Does that make sense? This is some of like the legal, like technical nonsense, right? But this is the way it's worded. Just know that this means guaranteed insurability. Okay. Exchange date occurs when the child turns 25 or within 30 days of the policy expiring if the child's still living. Because I've had people ask me before too, well, what happens if like the policy ends before the kid's 25? There you go, right? They're still guaranteed to be insurable. Oh, by the way, let's talk about this because this question will happen too. Like, well, God forbid, what happens to me if I die? Like, what happens to their coverage? Hey, listen, like God forbid something happens to you, your kids are going to be covered until they're 25. What? Yeah. If the insured dies when the rider's active, the rider automatically is exchanged for non-participating paid-up term insurance. That's a whole lot of legal mumbo jumbo for the kids are covered until they're 25. They'll have the same face amount as the rider. They're active until any insured turns 25 and not require any premiums. It's free, is another way to say that. What kind of peace of mind would it provide to somebody, guys, if you said, hey, look, God forbid something happens to you, your kids are still going to have paid up life insurance all the way until they turn 25? Sean, you're saying this is amazing. Have you not seen this in a policy before? This is built into a policy. This is built into every single policy that has a child rider in it. All right. This isn't magic. I didn't have to call home office and have them like wire me something. It's in every single policy. You just got to like unpack it, right? It's all there. It's all there. And then here's the best part for the exchange, right? It's got to be above the minimum required amount, but not more than 5 times the face amount of the rider, max of 125,000. Guys, this right here, this max of 125,000, 5 times the face value, is why we cover kids for 25,000. It's all about the future benefit. Because let's be honest, right? Nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's ever going to happen to any of our kids, right? Nobody that we're in charge of is ever going to have an issue as a child. But how many of you have met somebody or have seen somebody on social media or in the news or whatever? Kid's got cancer. Kid has like born with type 1 diabetes. God knows whatever kind of other ailment. How many times have you seen that? A lot, right? More than we would like. Well, guess what? Right? Even if that kid is healthy, goes into remission, right? Later on, the odds of them being approved for coverage later are slim because they've had a terrible diagnosis and it's still there, right? But that same kid is on one of our policies, turns 25. Guess what? We say, hey, little Bobby, here you go, buddy, right? We're going to do some paperwork. We're going to sign a DocuSign. You got $125,000 in life insurance for the next 35 years. No questions asked. Guys, I have one of my great friends, his young son was diagnosed with like an extremely rare blood cancer. I'm talking like one of 8 people in the entire country. Guess what? He lived. He's good. It's in remission. He's covered. And he'll be insurable when he turns 25 for 125,000 because he's been on a Primerica child rider. I don't know that he'll ever get life insurance anywhere else, but he's good. He'll have something up to 125,000, right? But that's why we always put kids on for 25, guys, because 5 times 25 is 125. It's all about the future value. With a child rider, you're not trying to make a parent rich in a tragedy. God forbid a child passes away. It's all about making sure that they can have a proper funeral for that child and the parent does not have to worry about where the money's coming from. The first death claim we ever paid was a child rider. I'm telling you guys, it's not a matter of if you're going to pay a death claim in this business, it's just when. It's just when. Okay. So now this is us, right? Like us as like the insured people, not kids anymore, right? Can you exchange this coverage? Yes. And all that means is you can convert your current policy to something else that we offer. Okay. Right now, annually increasing premium insurance to age 100, that means like at the end of your term, right? You can, like if you have a $500,000 policy right now and you're at the end, you can take it and renew it every single year. The cost is going to go up and it will be expensive, but you can't be declined. Think about it. If you're like 70 something and you're on your deathbed and your policy is about to like time out, you're paying it. It's not going to lapse. It's just like end. Do you care Or do your beneficiaries care that your monthly premium is going to go to like 4 or 5, $600 or something? If in a month they're going to get a check for a $500,000? No, they don't care, right? They don't care because you can't be declined. You might as well renew the thing, right? You get there and you're healthy. Now you're like, I don't need the payment to go up, but I also don't need as much coverage, but I want something. Well, decreasing term to 100. Well, well, you would agree that like 30 some odd years from now, we're probably going to have some other plan that will be available. Well, there you go. There's your clause that says you can have anything else that we offer at that time, right? So here's the big one, because we always say, look, guaranteed insurability cannot be declined. Do you have to provide evidence of insurability to exchange coverage? No. We will not require evidence of insurability. Well, what's the easier way to say that? Can't be declined. Guaranteed. That's it. Can't be declined. You just refill out the application. Doesn't matter what you put on it. You could check every stupid box on that thing. Be like Trey Lane's nightmare, right? On a normal application. But you can check every stupid box on the thing. Doesn't matter. Can't be declined. Okay. Cannot be declined. So guys, that's it right now for what I had on that. I'm gonna pull up an actual like quote chart and kind of walk you through a couple things just so you can kind of see. I want you to see some of the banding levels and see some of that stuff. I'll probably have to log back in here. Let me see. While I'm bringing this up, and so like if you've logged into your phone app recently, this is just the app on the computer, on the desktop. I just want to show you really quick some of the banding levels. And Michelle, I will get to your question momentarily. So go for it. What do you got?
Um, my brother, I was talking to him,
Mhm.
and is it okay? Because he's trying to quit this like nicotine thing, but I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be like Mission Impossible. So,
Okay.
is it okay to recommend like a 10-year 150 term until he can maybe kick it and then try to reapply later, or is that gonna work out well?
Yeah. So you 1000% can do that, right? The other thing that you can do, so let's just do it really quick, right? So your brother is, because here's the thing, right? Like if we're gonna say yes to nicotine, no matter what, you might as well do the medical exam, right?
Right.
Because
Mhm.
so a dude on nicotine, right? Class 10, that's just it automatically goes there. If he was going to do 150,000 in coverage with nicotine, how old is he?
He's 38.
Oh, that's pretty close. Right. I mean, hell, even the non-medical exam is only $50,
Yeah.
right? Like switching to like doing the medical exam, it doesn't like it's not even worth it. Just do the one in this case, like the price is so similar because it's such a short term.
Yeah.
Just do that one. And honestly, if you're going to do that one, watch the difference between 150 and 250, right? An extra 100,000 in coverage,
It's
25
20
bucks,
bucks. Yeah,
20
25.
bucks, right? And oh, by the way, he quits nicotine a year from now. Watch this. He quits nicotine a year from now. All we have to do is one little memo and send it in. It's called a non-tobacco attestation. He doesn't have to send in blood work, doesn't have to send in labs or anything. And his price is going to drop to 42 bucks.
Awesome. Yeah.
And at that point, if he's legit not doing nicotine anymore, well, then go back in here and do a 35-year with the with a medical exam. And now he's got another 35 years on top of that. And it's only 67 bucks.
Okay. Yeah, because I was
And
gonna offer him a plan because I was coming back. I said, "How's it going?" And he said, it's been 16 years. It's been a long time. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, I think we need to discuss a plan B here.
yeah, so 1,000% yes, right? Plan B is get something small, right? Get something small. Even if we're agreeing to the nicotine, who cares, right? Get that in force, right? Get that enforced, and then a year from now, we just send in the memo and it drops. So yeah, it's like suck it up, Buttercup. For a year, you're gonna pay a little more than you would want to. Call it a day. Because even if he did the medical, I mean, it saves him a few bucks, but he's so busy. Is he actually gonna do it?
I would assume so. Yeah, I think he can do
Maybe,
it. Yeah.
maybe, right?
I
Hey,
mean, it depends. $5 may not be worth it for him. So it just depends on how he feels about it.
that's what I'm saying. I would honestly start here because he's healthy. He doesn't have anything going on. He's probably gonna get automatically approved. And
Okay.
even with nicotine, he can come back better, right? For men, there's a nicotine rating that's like the preferred nicotine. You could come back class 9.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter if he doesn't smoke. He just does that stupid gum stuff. I don't know, Zine or whatever it's called.
Yeah, he's like dipping nicotine pouches, basically. Yeah, the
Yeah.
nicotine is still in his system, right? Like,
Okay.
so
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
yep. So vape, dip, nicotine, tobacco, cigarettes. If nicotine's in your blood or urine, it's going to show up on the blood test.
The only way usually, so when they go do the blood test, they can tell if the traces are higher or lower. So if his traces are lower, they will go ahead and class 9 that. They'll still give him that nicotine rating, but it will be lowered because he's not, habitually smoking or whatever like daily. So his blood levels are lower. So yeah, they'll give him a little premium.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
even on the power term, he could come back class 9. He can, right? So they're still like accelerated and real-time underwriting. I just want to hit this really quick on like a longer term policy, right? I'm going to remove the nicotine. So it's just like normal dude, right? We'll put the waiver premium on, why not? So, because I want you guys to see the difference between like the banding level stuff. So 200,000 is between the banding levels, right? So 150 is your first one, then 200. In the system, it will tell you if you can give your client more. Boom, right? So look what happened, right? It's a weird number. We would never do this anyway, but I'm doing it for this demonstration, right? So if you do this and it says, hey, banding opportunity, hey, Mrs. Agent, right? Increasing to 250, right? Could maximize premium value. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, hey, Mr. Client, can I give you another $30,000 in coverage and lower your price by $4? Is that okay? Well, I don't know anyone that would like say no, right? Because if you get a weird number like that, it's because somebody's doing some like bar napkin math and they added up their remaining mortgage, their car payment, XYZ, and they said, yes, I need $227,000 in life insurance. I've done the math. Hey, that's amazing, dude. I love that. And I want to do that for you. But can I ask you a question? Yep. If I could give you more and just make it 250 and save you like $7 a month, would that be okay? Or are you really married to having $227,000 in coverage? No, give me the 250. Perfect. Right? Who do you want your beneficiary to be? There you go. Right. So banding looks, guys. 150, 250, 500. Okay. And then it's above 500 at 750 plus. All right. So that's it for tonight. I think next time we'll do, well, next week I'm not here. So Angela and Haley and Matt and Michelle, Jen, you're gonna get some sort of like smorgasbord tag team event. So watch for the new link for that coming out. And Sean, I'll text it to you right when it comes out. But so watch for that, guys. Um, I hope you saw some value tonight. So leaving here, I would love for everybody to go out, review your wedding list if you've made one. If you've done one and you're like, this one ain't right, it's not, go make a new one. Text your trainer. Hey, let's remake my wedding list. I want to shoot for 5, right? I want to shoot for 10. I want to shoot for 20. Guys, whatever you want to shoot for, do it, right? But if you're thinking, oh, I'm only going to get one, shoot for 5 at a minimum, right? Shoot for 5. Let's get you some cash really quick, and then let's sit on some appointments. Listen, I'm here. I've opened my calendar through Sunday because we leave Monday, okay? And so normally you can't book me on Sunday, but my calendar is open right now, Saturday and Sunday. I'm around tomorrow. My calendar's pretty full tomorrow. But Saturday and Sunday, let's do it, right? And I'll tell you, like I tell everybody else, like first come, first serve. If you get appointment on my calendar, you get me, right? If it's not there, then you get somebody else. So look, I'm available. Matt's going to be available this weekend. Haley's available this weekend for part of it. Jen's available this weekend. Michelle's going to be available for part of it. Guys, reach out to whoever you need, right? Go call your trainer and let's set some appointments. The goal for the weekend is for a ton of promotions. I would love nothing more to sit here and click a bunch of buttons and promote a bunch of people. All right. So go in Telegram and tell me how many, like, tell us how many appointments you're going to set before Sunday at midnight. And then let's do it. Right. Let's get you paid. Let's get you paid and let's get you promoted. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. I'll get the recording out for this. That way you can go back and review and I'll put the graphics out for you again. All right. Have a good night.